Hey folks, here with Easy Jeezy. I call this video Yoga Bug for a specific reason. This is a shopping center close to my house. It's where I grocery shop. And about 3 months ago, I was coming through here and I was really feeling bad. I had messed up my knee. It just seemed like my health and well-being in general was going downhill fast, and I couldn't seem to recover. And when I was younger in my 20s, I had done a little bit of yoga. A friend of mine was really into it heavy, and so I saw this sign over here on this building that said Yoga, Grace Yoga. So I thought, I'm gonna go over here and check it out. So I've been going here for 3 months, 3 days a week, and it has just turned my life around. I've never felt better. I did other things besides yoga. I changed my diet, and I really became a lot more health conscious. But I'm telling you, this is pretty amazing, and I want to introduce the instructor to you and explain to you a little bit about what's going on here with the yoga and why it might be something to help you, something to consider anyhow. This is my teacher, Nicole, and I thought we'd start this off with just kind of a casual little bit of an interview, and kind of introduce her and let her give her background a little bit on yoga and how long she's been doing it. And you know, this is what she does for a living, so she's pretty serious about it, obviously. So I'm just going to kind of like do it as an interview, as if I was a reporter or a journalist or something like that. And this is unrehearsed. We're just ad-libbing it and going to see where it goes. So I'm kind of curious about some of that stuff myself. How long have you been doing it? You tell us some of the stuff in class.
I started practicing yoga when I was pregnant, and Shayla's 9 now. So that was my very first experience with yoga, is as a fat, awkward woman. And then after she was born, I thought, you know, I really did enjoy that. So then I took her back for a mommy and me class, and you know, so you're playing with the little baby, and you're doing a little bit of yoga poses, and it's more of a way of relaxing new moms, I think, than actually practicing yoga. But it teaches you that even though you have a baby, you can continue with your life. Well, so then it was some years later, 4 years later to be precise, that I was looking for new employment. Not just employment, but a new career. You know, I was a mechanic, and then
Yeah, stop and let's mention that.
Okay.
We got in a conversation one day. She is a veteran. She did her time in
the Air Force.
In the Air Force.
And as an aircraft fuel systems mechanic.
She was a aircraft fuel systems mechanic, so we hit it off right off the bat. Kind of had common ground with a mechanical background there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so directly applies to body mechanics now. You look at the body and you try to figure out how it's working.
And I know most of my audience are car people, and you're saying, what the heck is Easy Jeezy doing with this mechanic stuff? But I think my body has bothered me more and more older I get, because I've worked on cars and mechanical things and laying on the concrete floors and getting myself banged up a lot. And I know you guys do that type of work, and you know, you're bent over a fender working on a car, or holding power tools, doing body work and sanding and doing all this sort of stuff. It takes its toll. At the end of the day, you're a hurt unit. Sometimes you wake up and you can't even hardly move.
I went to the hospital. I rebuilt my motor in my Ford Ranger pickup and went to the hospital the next day, to the emergency room, because my back hurt so bad I just knew I was having kidney failure. True story. They said, oh, you're just having a muscle spasm. I said, no, this is bad. You're just having a muscle spasm. Go home, lay down.
So that was before you knew anything about yoga?
That was before yoga, yeah.
So how can this help all people, but in particular, we're going to focus this on people that construction and mechanics and people who work hard for a living, not just, you know, sit at a computer all day. Although that's what you're probably doing now.
Busted. So, you know, one way that it can help the hardworking blue-collar worker is that, you know, you have to keep your machine running well to do your job, and your machine is your body and your mind, and you need to be not with pain, and you need to have a clear mind and good focus and intention. You need to be sleeping well at night. And if you get up in the morning and your neck is hurting or your back is hurting, then it's not going to be good. You're not going to be able to do your job well. So, or if you get up in the morning and you have stress and you can't focus on the job at hand, then you're not going to be a good worker. You're not going to be good at running your business. You're not even going to be able to, you know, what if you wire something wrong? You know, those things happen when we don't feel good. So you keep your machine running clean, and your job is going to go easier, and you're going to have more fun doing the thing you like to do. Yeah?
Yeah. What we're going to do is just kind of expose you to some of an example of the yoga moves that you can do while you're seated there at your computer that will help your upper body, your neck and your joints and your spine and your hands and wrists. You know, we're always working our arms and our wrists a lot, and I have arthritis that shows up my fingers, and my knuckles and things were getting swollen up, and believe it or not, all that has calmed down. It's really calmed down a lot. Like I said earlier, I did change my diet. I changed a lot of things in my lifestyle, and I even gave up burritos. I eliminated coffee, and you don't have to go to that extreme, but that's what I did because I was hurting and I wanted the maximum results as quickly as possible.
So, went from the mechanic to the greenhouse. I have a degree in greenhouse management. Once again, it's another very physical job all day long. Well, I couldn't find good paying work local for that. And so then I started ruminating about, you know, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I need to hurry up and do that because you're, you know, only getting older. And a brick fell out of the sky, and it had a little piece of paper tied to it, and it said, "Teach yoga." And I thought, that's crazy. Who can work at teaching yoga? How could that be a job? And so now, you know, 5 years later into the business, things are really taking off, and, you know, I've seen a lot of people happier at the end of the day, happier at the beginning of the day. You know, they're sleeping better, they're having less pain, and, you know, I feel very rewarded in my mechanical aptitude to break down the human system and help people find the problem, tweak it a little, make a few changes, and see big results. So the cost-benefit analysis is great. It's great.
Maybe we should touch on a little bit about what yoga is, because I think some people have the impression that yoga, it's spiritual, it's a religion. You see it here in Eastern philosophy and all that sort of stuff.
We start out every class by burning like a lot of incense. And then we roll our eyes back in our head, and we tie each other in pretzels.
No.
And then we start singing chants. Yes. No, that's not it at all. In fact, I met an old guy, I mean like real old, older than you. Oh. And he was telling me, he said, I don't know why people want to do this foreign thing. It's just weird. You know, when I was young and when I was in the military, we just did, you know, regular exercises. And I said, yeah, well, I was in the military too, and a lot of these yoga moves we do are a lot like the calisthenics I did in basic training and beyond, and it's not foreign. There's just a fancy name for it now, but it is the same movements. Some of them are the same movements you're familiar with, and they're not going to feel foreign. And it's not about tying yourself in a pretzel, right? It's just about moving your body.
Well, who figured this out? I mean,
it is old. So yoga is an old practice, and it wasn't always available to the general public. You know, it was reserved for Brahmins, and you know, so those are teachers. They're wise people in India. And so in the 60s or so, Mr. Iyengar, is the style of yoga I teach is called Iyengar yoga, Mr. Iyengar decided should be for the people. And so he went out into the world and he did demonstrations everywhere and showed people how to do it. And you know, my husband likes to say, you know, he's a contortionist. He can do anything. I can't do what he can do. Well, it's not about doing what he can do. It's about doing what you can do. And so, you know, yoga is a balance practice, if you choose to take it that way, of body, mind, and spirit. But if you just want to develop your body, yoga can help you do that. If you want to develop just your mind, yoga can help you do that. If you want to go the spiritual path, you can do it that way too. I don't teach that way, but it is available, even in this country. But if you want to do all three, yoga is very sneaky. Sometimes it gives you what you don't know you need. So we focus more in our classes on the physical poses and the breathing. And that gives you the same health benefits as meditating. So meditation is part of yoga.
So if you wouldn't mind, for the sake of my viewers, give them your perspective of this crazy old man that drove up in a Volkswagen and saw you outside the building, and your version of how we met and what's transpired in the last 3 months.
Okay, so as I remember it, I was heading out to another appointment with my hands full, and you were heading up to the door to maybe pick a flyer up or see if you could find more information. So I met you in the parking lot, and you said something like, "What's all this yoga about?" And I said, "Well, you know, it's just about health and exercise and breathing." And you said, "Yeah, well, I've heard of it, and I was thinking about coming in, and then I saw your sign, and I thought I would just pop over." And so we kind of started talking about, you know, some of the benefits of yoga and you know, some of our background. You told me how you work on Volkswagens a lot, and you were driving a Volkswagen, of course. And you know, so I think the whole conversation lasted about 30 minutes, which was about 20 minutes more than I had to spare. You must
Imagine that!
You must edit your videos a lot. But I was surprised to see you at my very next class, which might have even been the very next day. And then
I think it was that same day. I think it was that evening.
It might have even been that evening, you're right. And you seemed to enjoy yourself, and you seemed to fit right in with the group, you know. And then I was surprised to see you at the very next class, and the very next class after that. And then I was pretty impressed by your attendance. You know, you were coming 3 classes a week, you know, making every effort to be here. And
my form was horrible.
And you did a lot of moaning and groaning and huffing and puffing. And I remember, you know, it was a pretty big deal to make you breathe.
Yeah.
You were holding your breath all the time.
I'll bet a lot of you guys are that way. Anytime you have to exert yourself physically, you stop, you hold your breath, you squeeze your whole body, you know, pick up that transmission or that nut, you're trying to bust it loose, and you hold your breath and you start pushing and yanking on things, and that's a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, you'll get an aneurysm. So you know, as I remember, your knee was hurting really bad. There were lots of things you were not able to do when you came. Your back would not straighten. It was bent a lot more. And your head was forward. And as a yoga teacher, when I see someone whose head is forward, I know that they're bouncing around inside their brain too much. They're overthinking things, and they're not feeling what they need to feel in their body. So in the last 3 months, I don't see your knee hurting at all. It seems that you're able to do every pose we do in class, and you breathe. You're breathing a lot. You have better color, and your back is straightening up, and your head is coming more in line with your body, which means that you're able to think clearly, that your thoughts are not bouncing around in your head, but you're able to grab the thoughts that you need faster, and you're able to access the feelings in your body faster. And was it just the other day, maybe just last night, in fact, in class, I said, remember, breath is power. And so when you're ready to do something strong, take a big breath in, and then exhale and push that out. And that's going to access power that was locked up before. So when you're doing something strong, breaking that nut loose or whatever, breathe. Breathe out, push. Yeah. So, I'm pleased. I think you're doing great.
Okay, so that is why we're here, and that's why I'm doing this, because it helped me, and I want to pass that on to you. It wasn't something that I had a lifelong dream of becoming yoga. It was more of a desperation. I sure as heck didn't want to try the Obamacare route, and I didn't want to start going to the doctor, and I didn't have the money for those kinds of things. I didn't want to get hooked on prescription drugs just for little minor things that, no way. I thought, I can do this myself. Medicine hasn't been around like it is now. Now they give you a pill for everything. 100 years ago, people just toughed it out, or they got over it, or their body healed. And I don't think any of them had as many problems as we have today with machines doing all the work, because our body was designed to do physical activity every day, all the time. And when you sit behind a desk and don't get that physical activity, it's actually harmful to your body. It's just like leaving a car sit. The battery goes dead, and the fuel goes bad, the tires get flat spots, and when you go to drive it after sitting for a long time, a few months or years, then you got to do a lot of things to it, and it kind of sometimes gets better, just loosens up, just driving it a little bit. It needs to be driven, and your body's just like that car. It needs to be worked. But in a safe and good manner. And they don't teach you this stuff, all the different moves and the twisting and the different weight, and many times we don't warm up. We get to work in the morning and we got to hit it. We got to produce something, or you're a weekend warrior and you've only got a limited amount of time to work on that car or that restoration project that you're doing, or your hot rod or whatnot. So you just jump right into it, and your muscles are cold, and a lot of times you get hurt and make mistakes and start bleeding. Seems like every project I do isn't successful unless I bleed on it a little bit. So anyhow, that's where we're going from here. And this is an experiment of mine. We can do some yoga exercises right off the bat that are going to make you feel better, and you'll be able to do it with us right at your desk while you're watching the YouTube videos. You click on this video or this series of videos. I'm going to create a playlist, and we're going to call it Yoga Bug. I thought that would be a quirky little thing to say. And we're going to do this together, and I'm going to show you some things myself. And I wanted you to meet Nicole so you know where this is coming from. And I'm going to add a lot of things, personal touches of my own that have helped me. And the thing that's wonderful about this, when it comes to yoga poses, I read in one of these books that there was over like 1,800 named official poses that were used for different ailments and different functions and general well-being and health. But it's not so stiff and structured. It's not like playing football or basketball where you have to do it this way, a certain way. You can do what you need to do, and you can modify it. And all these blankets and rollers and blocks that we have here and that I have purchased for myself at home are there to help you. You just take it as far as you can. And maybe you could say a few words about that. It's not about pain. It's not about hurting yourself. She talks about this in every class. Maybe you could just...
Right. So there's that phrase, no pain, no gain. Well, that does not apply whatsoever to yoga. So if you are feeling pain, then it needs to be changed, and we need to figure out another way. And so you don't push through that pain in yoga. Okay, so we'll show you lots of things. They shouldn't be painful. If you have injuries, you shouldn't push through your injuries, but you should approach your injuries with compassion and patience, and you take them as only far as they can go that day, and every day is a new day, and your body is a new body every single moment, and it's not what you were when you were 15.
Down in the comments section below, put something down there that you need help with. If you have knee problems or shoulder problems or hip problems or neck problems, I know I've heard you guys complain about a few things, and I can see some things when I'm watching your videos. So if you are too shy to put something below, give me a thumbs up hit there, and I will take it as to progress with more of these, and I'll have a separate playlist, and I'll mix them in with my regular VW and my garage videos. And I want to just say thank you to all the people in the Garage Gang. And for people that are just coming to this channel for the first time and like what they see, look at some of the people that are commenting down below. If you click on the icon next to their comment, it'll take you to their channel, because there's some wonderful people here, and this is going to be my way of giving a shout out to all the Garage Gang guys that do watch my videos, and I really appreciate your views and support that you give me. I try to watch as much of your stuff as time allows. In retirement, I've run out of time. I'm busier. I don't know how I got all the things done I did while I was working full time. But right now I'm feeling better, and I'm having more fun, and I want to share that with you guys, and I want to see you all, and there's some gals out there too that watch my channel. I want you to feel what I'm feeling and improve your health and well-being. So if you do that, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Easy Jeezy out. Cool.
Cool.